Hello guys and welcome back to my read along channel. This is the next chapter of the Dare Game, which is Tracy Beaker is Back by Jaqueline Wilson. This is on page 83 and it goes through to page 197. This chapter is called Mum's Home and then in brackets again. I think I mentioned that in the last video. So yeah, this is Jaqueline Wilson's own work. I'm just reading it entertainment and pleasure. So without further ado, let's get going. Mum's home again. Mum's home was a little bit different this time. Mum was a little bit different too. She was very pale underneath her makeup and she wore dark glasses, and when we had our big hug hello, she smelled stale under her lovely powdery scent. Her home smelled too, of cigarettes and a lot of booze. The curtains were still drawn. I went to open them, but Mum stopped me. "Not too much daylight, sweetie," she said, holding her forehead. "Have you got a hangover, Mum?" "What? No, of course not. Don't be silly, darling. No, I have this nasty migraine. I get them a lot. I'm bothered with my nerves." She lit a cigarette and drew on it desperately. "I don't make you nervous, do I, Mum?" I asked. "Don't be silly, sweetie," said Mum. "Now see what your mum's got for you." "Another present?" I hoped it wasn't chocolates again because I was feeling a bit sick. I was bothered with my nerves too. I take after my mum. The present was a big parcel, but soft and floppy, not chocolates. "Is it a rag doll or a teddy?" I asked cautiously, feeling for heads or paws under the wrapping paper. "Have a look." So I carefully undid the wrapping paper, ultra neatly this time, and discovered an amazing pair of combat trousers with a label to die for. "Oh well, great," I said, whirling around, clutching the trousers, making up each leg dance up and down. "You like them?" said Mum. "I love them. They're seriously cool. Shame I haven't got a really great jacket to go with them." "You're not hinting by any chance?" said Mum, smiling. I decided to hint for all I was worth. "Of course, my old trainers are going to spoil the whole sharp look," I said. "I need a pair of Nikes to kind of complete this outfit." "I'm not made of money," said Mum. "I think it's a bit rich. Ha, a bit poor. That Cam gets paid a fortune to look after you, while I won't get a penny." "Still, I'm worth it, aren't I, Mum?" I said, whirling closer. "Of course you are, sweetheart," she said. "Do give over thumping about, though. You're doing my head in." I made her a strong black coffee and she sat on the sofa and sipped. Then she lay back on the cushion and stayed very still, not answering when I spoke to her. It looked like she'd fallen asleep, though I couldn't see her eyes for the dark glasses. I circled the sofa slowly, looking at her, still not quite able to believe she was really my mum, and we were with each other, and we were going to be together forever and ever. And I'd made it up so many times that it was hard to believe it was real now. I kept staring and staring until my eyes went blurry. But Mum didn't vanish. She stretched out in her sparkly sweater and leopard skin pants. So splendid, so special, so sweet to me, so sleepy too. She wouldn't wake up. I loved to look at her, but it started to get a bit weeny, bit boring. I went for a wander around the room, emptying the ashtrays into the wainsbin and taking the glass and empty bottle out to the kitchen like a real mummy's little helper. I had a peer in all her kitchen cupboards and the fridge, but there weren't many snacks to nibble on, just frozen packets of diet stuff and booze. I played hopscotch across the kitchen tiles for a bit, and then I took off my trainers and played ice skating, and then I shuffled back to the living room, hopefully because I heard Mum sigh, but she just turned over and was still sleeping, playing Sleeping Beauty. One of her black suede high heels had fallen off. I tried it on, then carefully eased the other one off her foot too. I had my very own pair of high heels. I clonked about the living room for a bit to get my balance, and then staggered off to her bedroom to admire myself in her wardrobe mirror. I had a little peep in her wardrobe, and before I could stop myself, I was dressing up in her mohair sweater and her leather skirt. I looked almost like my mum. I pretended to be her. I promised my little Tracy Beaker I would always love her and be with her forever, no matter what. Then my mum came into the bedroom, rubbing her eyes and lighting her fag. "So that's where you got to. Did I doze off for 5 minutes? Hey, you cheeky baggage. You're all togged up in my clothes. Take them off and watch that skirt. It costs a fortune." "Oh, Mum, please, let me keep them on. Just for a second. I look so beautiful, just like you," I begged. I rooted through her wardrobe. "Oh, wow. I love your red dress. Can I try that on too? And the purpley thing. And what's this black dress? It's dead sexy." "Tracy," said Mum, giggling. "Okay then. Come here, we'll play dressing up." It was magic. Mum got me all beautifully dressed up, though we both fell about laughing when I tried the black dress on. because it came right down to my belly button, and I wasn't just topless, it was very nearly bottomless too. I ended up back in the mohair sweater and the leather skirt and Mum's suede high heels, and she made me up like a real grown-up lady and did my hair too. I strutted about like fashion model, and Mum joined in too, showing me how to do the walk properly, and I did my best to copy her. Then we played being rock stars, and Mum was incredible. She could do all the bouncy bits and the little dances and everything, and she could really sing too. She has this amazing voice. She said she was the queen of karaoke night down the pub, and everyone always begged her to sing. It's karaoke night tonight, actually, she said. Okay, great. Oh, great, can we go? I'd love to see you being the star singer. You can't go to the pub, Tracy, you're just a little kid. I went with Cam, Jane and Liz once. We sat in the garden and I had a cocktail called St Clements and 3 packets of salt vinegar crisps. Yes, well, my pub hasn't got a garden and you can't sit out in the evening anyway. No, I was just wondering about me going. But what about me? Well, you can go to bed. I'll make you up a bed on the sofa and then you can watch telly for a bit as a treat. You're going to leave me on my own, I said, my heart thumping. Oh, come on, Tracy, you're not a baby, said Mum. I don't really like being left on my own, I said. Mum, can't you stay and play with me? For goodness sake, Tracy, I've been playing daft games with you for hours. You can't begrudge me an hour or two with my friends down the pub. A couple of drinks, that's all. I'll be home long before closing time, I swear. Anyway, you'll be asleep by then. What if I can't get to sleep? Then watch the telly like I said. I don't think there's anything good on tonight. Well, watch a video, honestly. Kids, you can tell you've been spoilt. You're going to have to learn to do as you're told if we're going to get along. You're not supposed to leave me. I'll do what I like, young lady. Don't take that tone with me. Do you want me to send you back to the children's home? I shook my head. I couldn't speak. Well then, don't you get stroppy with me. Out of my clothes and into your gym jams, right? She started treating me like I was a sulky little toddler. She even washed all the makeup off my face herself, and then she played silly games with the flannel, pretending it was like a bird pecking off my nose. I laughed a lot and went along with the whole charade because I hoped if I was really good and sweet and cute, she'd change her mind and stay home, but she didn't. She left me. She gave me a kiss and tucked me up on the sofa and waved her fingers at me, and then she put on her coat and walked off in her black suede high heels. I called after her. I said she didn't have to play with me. I'd lie watching telly as quiet as a mouse. I'd do anything she wanted, just so long as she stayed with me. I don't know whether she heard or not. She still went anyway, so I was left all on my own. I got angry at first. She wasn't supposed to leave me. If I phoned Elaine and told tales, Mum would be in serious trouble. But I didn't want to phone Elaine. I knew who I wanted to phone, but I couldn't. I couldn't let on to Cam that it had all gone wrong so quickly. Then I got angry with myself. Had it really gone wrong? I didn't know why I was getting in such a state. So what if my mum had slipped out for a drink or two? Lots and lots and lots of mums went down the pub, for goodness sake. And my mum had been wonderful to me. She bought me fantastic new trousers and she played games with me for ages. She was the best mum in the world, and so why couldn't I just lie back on her lovely comfy sofa and watch telly and have a good time till she came back? I knew why. I was scared. It reminded me of all those other times when I was little and she left me then. I couldn't remember them properly. I just remembered crying in the dark and no one coming. The dark seemed to stretch out forever into space, and I was all by myself, and Mum was never coming back for me. I felt that way now, even though I knew it was stupid. I scrunched up in a tiny ball on the sofa and I thought about Cam and wanted her so badly. No, I wanted my mum so badly. I was all muddled. I just felt so lonely, and after a long while I slept, but when I woke up, Mum still wasn't back, even though the pubs had been shut for ages. I switched on the telly, but it jabbered away so loudly in the silent flat, so I shut it off quick and lay on the sofa listening and listening, wondering what I would do if Mum never came back. And then, when I'd nearly given up altogether, I heard footsteps and giggling and the key turning in the front door. The light went on in the living room. I kept hunched down and my eyes squeezed shut. Whoops, I'd forgotten I'd tucked her up on the sofa, Mum hissed. Funny little thing. Doesn't look a bit like me, does she? Oh dear. Come on, out we go. You better go home, sweetie. Yes, I know, but it can't be helped. There was a horrible male mumbling and a slurping sound and more giggles from Mum. You naughty thing. No, shh. Now, we'll wake the kids. I breathed as slowly and evenly as I could. The man was mumbling again. Ooh, said Mum. Yes, I'd love to go to the races on Saturday. Great idea. Though, well, my little Tracy will still be here. She can come too, can't she? She won't be any trouble, I swear. Mumble, mumble, fumble, fumble. I know it wouldn't be so much fun. What? I see. So we'd be staying the whole weekend? It does sound tempting. Go on then. You've twisted my arm. I'll fix it. My eyes were still tight shut, but I couldn't see them leaking. It was okay. They didn't see. They weren't looking at me. I was awake long before Mum in the morning. I had my bag all packed ready. I wondered how she was going to break it to me, whether she'd tell me it straight or spin me some story. It was a story with a lot of spin on it. She came out with it at breakfast. I was amazed. It was the sort of stuff I'd made up when I was about 6, the most pathetic never-ever tale about bumping into a film producer down the pub and how he was bowled over by her, and he was given all this big acting chance, and he needed her to meet up with all his big film guy cronies at this weekend, and she knew this weekend was the most special ever because we were supposed to be together, but on the other hand, we could spend every other weekend of our lives together, but this weekend was her one chance of finding fame and fortune, and I did understand, didn't I, sweetie? I understood. I looked at Mum, I really looked at her, and I understood everything. She didn't have it out with her. I just made my lips turn up and said that, of course, I understood, and I wished her luck. She went a bit watery-eyed then, so her last night's mascara smudged, and she reached across the table so that her black nylon nightie dripped in my cornflakes, and she gave me a big hug. I breathed in her warm, powdery smell one last time, then she gave me a little pat, ran her fingers through her rumpled hair, plucked at her soft nightie, and said she'd better go and have a bath and get herself all prettied up. And what did I want to do today, darling? I knew what I was going to do. As soon as Mum was in the bath, I went in her handbag, nicked some of her money, picked up my bag. Oh, sorry guys, that was me dropping my bookmark. I really do apologise if you don't like loud noises. I'm going to carry on now. We're on the last page of this chapter, so yeah, sorry about that. So I'll read from where I went. I knew what I was going to do. As soon as Mum was in the bath, I went to her handbag, nicked some money, picked up my bag and scarfed. I left her a note. The note got a bit smeared and blotchy, but there wasn't time to write it out again. I needed to leave her a message so she'd know I wasn't a thief. And the message says, "It's okay, Mum. I know you didn't really want me. I'll be fine. I've taken £10 for travelling, but I'll save up and send it you back, honest. Thanks for everything. Lots of love from Tracy." Then I walked out, closing her front door ever so slowly so she wouldn't hear. Then I ran and ran and ran and ran and ran. I didn't know where I was going. I really didn't have any place to go. I could go back to Cam, but she probably wouldn't want me back now. Not after all the things I said. I came out with all sorts of stuff, things that I didn't want to write in this book, things to hurt her. It was so hard choosing between Cam and my mum, so I made it easy by doing such dreadful things to Cam that she'd never ever want me back. I'd made the wrong choice. Now I haven't got anywhere to go. Yes, I have. I know where I'm going. And that is the end of that chapter. I'm really very sorry about that loud noise near the end. Some people really don't like noises, especially like that, so do really apologise. Again, we're getting close to the end now. I believe there's only 4, maybe 5 chapters left, so we're getting through it quite quickly now. I'm really enjoying the book as always, and I really appreciate all the views. So thank you again, guys, for listening. And until the next time, oh yeah, I need to tell you, the next chapter is The Smashed Home, and it's on page 197. But until the next time, guys, goodbye.